not to be surprised or anything, but Amazon, if anyone even remembers this, 2 years ago or so, Amazon announced that they were doing a Lord of the Rings MMO. And they were doing it in partnership or in tandem with Tencent at the time, and just announced that has been dropped, that Amazon specifically is dropping that game. Again, not surprising because Amazon, has Amazon completed any other game than their Top Gear game? I don't think so. I think the Top Gear game was like the only game that fully got finished. Everything else is coming to Amazon, I think has been canceled at this point or put off into some weird future where anything ever comes out of that studio. So the one thing here is that I think Tencent is the one that technically has the rights to this game. I don't think it was Amazon. So what does that mean? Well, because it was a dispute between Amazon and Tencent, I suspect that there's a chance that Tencent takes the game where it is now and continues to produce the game and eventually have it come out, because 2 years of development on MMO, nobody's going to want to waste all that shit. So I'm sure Tencent will be considering whether or not
it's
they
possible
want to go forward.
It's possible. I know this is a movie related talk, but it does kind of connect here.
Well, it's Lord of the Rings.
Amazon is working on the Lord of the Rings television series.
They are indeed.
It's being filmed. It is the most expensive TV series in the history of television.
Yes.
The first
As it
season,
should be.
The first season will cost $650 million.
All right, maybe not that much.
It is over 3 times the budget of Game of Thrones. It is the most expensive show ever made.
What were the combined budgets of the Hobbit films?
Probably close to $650 million.
So we're pushing one season of this show is going to be nearly the combined total of the budgets for the last 2 actual Lord of the Rings movies.
I don't know what the Lord of the Rings movies, the originals, what it cost, but it probably was in the neighborhood of like $250 million back then.
Yeah.
At least probably for like the last one. I know the Hobbit films cost a small fortune, but this Amazon show apparently is massive. Now, the only reason why I think this isn't happening, and why I don't think Tencent will grab this is because Amazon is probably not going to want, like, they got the rights and stuff for the show. I don't know if the rights for the video game and the show, like the property, is completely different, but I would wager that they're not going to want another company creating Lord of the Rings content, whether that is a movie, a video game, whatever, while they're spending $650 million to create their vision. And I think the reason why they were creating this is probably on the back end, where they're like, listen, the show is going to be massive. Let's build some fans here and get people into what we're doing. So since the game isn't happening through Amazon, I'm not sure it'll happen at all. That's my guess, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I really wish that I knew. I want to say Tencent had the rights to the game. It is entirely possible that the movie or the show rights and the game rights and it's probably likely were separate contracts, separate things. That doesn't mean that Amazon might try and block them from doing it in some way, like tie them up legally to the point where they're just like, this isn't worth the effort. Tencent does have a shitload of money though, so that would be a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, but it's like, at the same time, why would you spend all that money to make a game that really nobody's asking for?
I was surprised when they announced that in the first place. I was like, this is a very weird. I mean, it made sense then.
Because of the show, right? That's the only reason why Amazon was locking that up.
That's still a really stupid idea, though. Like, in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, they've got Amazon's got so much money that it's just like,
that's true.
They're just probably throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
But this show is going to be absolutely. It is one season, $650 million.
How many episodes in the season do we know?
I don't think it says.
It better be 10.
Well,
for that much money.
Here's the thing, and they've already have it set up that it's supposed to be 5 seasons long, but the first season alone is $650 million.
Which if it does well, the second season will be like a bill.
Well, yeah. I mean, it really it all depends on how crazy they get.
Because think about Game of Thrones' first season production value and how much money they had for the first season Game of Thrones. and then you skip ahead like 1 or 2 seasons, and suddenly it was like, ha ha ha. Could you imagine starting at $650 million?
No.
Where
No.
the up is
No.
from that?
I mean, they must the CGI, the costumes, the
it
actors.
better be fucking.
Dude.
If this is anything less than the greatest experience of all time, which, let's be honest, you have to compete with the original trilogy,
It's
which is
Lord of the Rings.
arguably
The
the greatest trilogy of all time.
Yeah. So like, you know, the amount of expectations on a show like this,
It's a little high.
especially since Game of Thrones sort of set the bar on this like fantasy,
Yeah.
realistic, gritty, who knows what's going to happen type thing, right? And I think Amazon's trying to do the same, but with the ultimate IP of Lord of the Rings. It could either be the single greatest show that we've ever seen, or it's going to be like an okay show
Yeah.
that blew a shit ton of money.
I think that's the most likely scenario. I think it's going to be an okay show that spent an ungodly amount of money, and there's going to be a lot of people getting paid big dollars for that shit. Do we know anyone? Do we know like who's involved, like actor-wise?
There's a bunch. I'd have to look it up. There is some good, and what's nice is a lot of them are like, I don't want to say no name, but like well-respected actors and actresses.
Just haven't hit it, did the big figures yet, kind of thing.
Like they're known. They're the nose of the who knows, but not of the like, you know, the grand,
wider,
the household names.
They can't ask for $50 million yet.
No, they can't. But I'm sure by season 3, season 4, they'll be, you know, they'll be asking for large amounts of money.
They're gonna go in. The agents are gonna go in and get like, all right, look, guys, this season has a $1.2 billion budget. My client needs to be paid a minimum of $75 million. So,
dude, it's so much money. It's so much money. So we'll see what happens. But anyway,
that'll be the one thing that will top currently Daniel Craig doing the Knives Out duo for $100 million.
The streaming service wars are getting out of. You know what the streaming service wars have turned into? It's turned into the streaming wars of gamers, where it's like, hey, I'm Facebook. Hey, streamer with 5,000 concurrent viewers. How would you like $4 million to come over to our platform and stream for 2 years? And then when you come over to our platform, your 5,000 concurrents going to turn into 400, but it's okay.
Because you were paid $4 million.
But you were paid $4 million, so you're not going to say anything. And then after the 2 years, we're going to double that so that you stay for another 2 years, or you can just go back over to Twitch. That's what this has turned into. It's turned into like, yeah, it's like who can burn the most money.
Oh, God. Man, don't you wish sometimes that we were just big enough to have that money burnt on us?
Yes. Every day, I dream of it. Every day. Every day.
Oh, fucking hell.